What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of 3D modeling. It's actually the first 3D modeling stream, so I'm going to do something super simple, and hopefully I don't mess that up. Let's see here. Let me get some music started. It's royalty free, but who knows? It might still get flagged. Give it a shot. Let me know if it's too loud. And yeah, let's take a look at the model that I want to make here. So this is the first nursery pot that I made. Super simple. It's just a few holes in the bottom. You know, basic nursery pot. I think I have the reference around here somewhere. Yeah, so this is the reference. You know, quite a bit different than the final model, but I like to make things look unique. So there you have it. Yep, so with that being said, this is going to be the next one. It's more of a rectangular shape, and here is my reference. Super simple, right? The bottom's a little bit more complex. I'm not going to make it as complex as that because I want to keep the poly count pretty low, and you know, I'm not going to have these little ridges in there. Yeah. But yep. Let's get started. Before I started streaming, I took down some basic measurements of the reference. That way it's to scale. So if I keep looking down, I'm just double checking my measurements. But anyways, let's get this thing going. First thing I gotta do is move this thing up. So let's set the origin. Whoops. There we go. Move it up. So if I don't move it up, all my measurements are going to be totally off. Okay. So let's start with the top, I think. I'll just delete the top face. And the first thing we want to do is extrude up. So if we take a look at the reference, I'm basically just going to replicate that upper ridge there, right below the place where you would grab the pot. It was roughly 12 millimeters, something like that. And then we want to extrude out. I gotta set up shortcuts for this. I don't know if anyone's watching that knows the shortcuts to do extrude along normals, because I use that all the time. It says shortcut shift spacebar 0, but I've done that numerous times and it never works for me for some reason. Why are the normals facing that way? You know what? I take it back. Let's start over. Just go up like that. Fill in the top. And then just extrude up. Let's do 1 millimeter. Okay. And I want to extrude out roughly 2 millimeters. All right. I'll do one more extrude with the same thickness, 1 millimeter. And now we can extrude down to get the handle. And let's see what I measured for the handle. Measured around 4. Let's just make it 3 so it's a little bit more streamlined. Okay, that's looking good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now we can start deleting some of this stuff up here. Okay. We can dissolve this edge because we don't need that. That edge looks good. That edge looks good. Okay. I don't think there's any other detail I really want to add to the top. Yeah, I think that's fine. We do need to bevel these edges, but I'm going to do that last after we finish the bottom. I'm going to do one quick test. I want to see what the solidify looks like. And we're going to go for a thickness of 1 millimeter. Okay. Let's hide that. Now we can start working on the bottom. I think what I'll do is I'll just split this into quarters and then just work from one quarter and mirror the rest. Whoops. What am I doing? Okay. Put a break in there. And I measured, let's see. Roughly 38 millimeters in from here. That is... I'm still getting used to 3D modeling, so please forgive my sloppiness here. other direction. There we go. Okay. Then we want to make another cut here. Gotta straighten this out. Whoops. Scale x0. Oh. Alright, so for this, it was pretty close to 16 millimeters. So let's go here. What's the shortcut for bottom? Okay, I guess that's the bottom. Okay. I'll just take a quick look here. All right, I think that looks correct. And then just delete that vertices. Okay, yeah, it looks good. I was starting to doubt myself there. Is this still vertices over here? Okay, perfect. So we can, whoops, fill? Oh, okay, it's not. So I'll just EY, make that 0, go from there. So you have to fill it? I thought you could join vertices, but I guess not. Interesting. Learn something new every day. There's got to be a much faster way to do this. This is pretty brutal. I guess that's the downside of making models based on real life objects. if you want to be as close to scale as possible. That's all right. It's still fun to do. Whoa. That's all right. That's better. Now we need to fill that. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Question is, how do I want to raise this inner part out? Or down, I should say. So I'm trying to think of something that's a little bit simpler as far as the shape. I don't want to do a circle. That's going to make so many extra vertices when I already have to put a bunch of cutouts in the bottom, circular cutouts. So on this, it's actually round, and it rounds into the bottom feet there. I don't know if you can see that. But since I went straight across to save a few vertices, I'm probably just going to do like a square pattern in the middle. I think that's going to be the best bet. Just keep it like this and then just extrude it out to the same level as the feet. I also have to space this out. I don't like that. Need to move this out. Let me just do a quick measurement. It's one thing I forgot to measure. Where's my caliper? There it is. All right. See with that. Got this electronic digital caliper. Super cheap on Amazon. I don't know if the model number's on this or not. Doesn't say. But I can always look it up if you're wondering. This is the back of it. If it'll focus. There we go. Alright, so let's just get a rough measurement. Alright, so that's 16, 16. Okay. Let's go with 15. Yeah. So it's about 15 in between those two spots there. So let's do that. What's the easiest way to do this? Need to split out more vertices, so I'll just do subdivide. Subdivide. And this is, what I say, 15. So let's go with, on the Y, minus 7.5. Whoops. Minus 7.5 millimeters, not meters. Why is this so far off? I don't know. I messed up the measurement somewhere. Doesn't matter. We'll just wing it. Sorry, gotta do that one more time. G Shift X. That way that merges. G Shift X. Okay. And let's join those up. And GY. That looks pretty good. I'm still going to move this back though. All right. Let's make it match on the other side. So just copy this. Apply that here. That's going to be the X position. Okay, now we just need to modify this side. Subdivide. Okay. Grab this. All right. G Shift Y. Oh, somehow snapping got turned off. Interesting. Okay, G Shift Y. That looks much, much better. The feet still look a little large, but I think that's simply because we haven't rounded these edges yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, is there anything else we need to clean up? That's still a quad. This is the n-gon, so that's not acceptable. So, what's it on the, also n-gon on this side too? Whoa. Broke something. Ow. There was some weird merging that went on. What's my merge settings? Ah, that's why. That should be way smaller. Oh, it's too late to fix that now, so try to dissolve it. Yeah, that's just gonna break that. Let's just delete the vertices altogether. I'll just manually patch it really quick. It's not a big deal. Dissolve. All right. Not bad. I think we can dissolve these as well. Actually, let's keep it for now. Just dissolve this edge instead. Alright, zoom is all messed up. Let's zero that. Alright, what do we got going on here? That got pulled out, so we need to fix that. Got the snapping. Alright, so GX. Okay, that's good. Let's just double check the other side. Yep, that got messed up too. Some of these normals might end up being flipped, so we'll just have to remember to double check that before we finish the model. Whoops, don't do that. Alright, let's just take a step back, look at it really quick, throw on some shading. If it's, nope, I'm not going to do anything. Okay, that looks good. Since we got this open, let's just change that to nursery pot 2. I'm pulling from the previous nursery pot, and then I'm just going to relabel, so let's relabel this one now. Okay. And might as well add that to this nursery pot, and then now we can just get rid of the previous nursery pot model altogether, and now we're just working with the one. That's perfect. Okay, it's good progress. How much time is left? I'll probably go until 4:30, I think. Then I'll call it quits after that. So should be able to get this done by then. I think it's safe to apply the modifier, the mirror modifier. Control A. All right. Let's dissolve that vertices. Select this face. And how far do we want to go in? Not much. Maybe something like that. Whoa. I don't know. Do the inset. Switch the face. E. What is it? Okay, turn that off. Don't align the rotation to the targets. Just double check. Z0, Z0. Perfect. And do we want to keep the same slope? I think so. So let's find out how far we have to go. Edge length. 4.71 millimeters. Oh, nope, sorry. Needs to be that there. But that's not the actual distance, so we'll just calculate it. So starting X is that, so 0.004706. And then 0.011991. Alright, I think the best bet is to rotate it Z90. Whoops. 45. Alright, that looks good. Nice, nice. Let's rotate this back. Save that. Okay, well, let's clean this up a little bit. Get rid of some of this unnecessary geometry. And then we can move on from here. Let me turn off the edge length, because don't need that. Have merging on. Let's snap to edge instead. What is going on here? Okay, I think that's good. Four vertices removed. Okay, I must have had some duplicate vertices. That's probably why it was acting all funky up there. Find out when we do the next one. Yep, that's the problem. Okay. Just do it like that. We'll fix that end gone in a second. I'm kind of paranoid about this, so I'm going to just take a peek. I feel like there's going to be other broken stuff. Yep. Okay, maybe a slightly larger bevel. 8mm. Sure. Actually, let's try 10. See what that looks like. That actually looks better. I think 10's good. Try boosting that to 2 segments. It's really gonna make the poly count jump up a little bit, but I don't know. I like 2 better. Let's try 1 and see what it looks like in object mode. Actually, I'll take that back. I'm gonna go with 1 because it kind of looks too jarring with the extra edge in here when it's in object mode. Yeah, it's a much cleaner look with just 1 segment. So we'll do that. Alright, one more sanity check up here. I usually don't get this paranoid about the geometry being messed up, but since it's so close together and I had the snap option set way to too high of a sensitivity, I just want to double check and triple check everything before I go ahead and apply the solidified modifier, because I don't want to have to backtrack a lot. How dumb would it look if we put a bevel on this? Actually looks pretty good. I like that. Then I'll just clean up these n-gons and yeah. That's good. Okay, let's do that. All right, this is looking good. Now, what's the fastest way to clean this up? Subdivide. G, Shift X. Whoa. I don't like that. Whatever that's doing, I don't like it. G, Shift X. Okay. Actually, I don't even need to do that, really. I can reduce the poly count even further just by merging these up. That'll give us 1 quad and 1 try, so 3 tries total instead of 4 tries. Okay. But before I do that, I want to solidify this that way. Oh wait, no. I don't want to solidify it like this. We should clean this up first and then solidify it after it's nice clean geometry, so we don't have to do any extra modification after that. Okay. What's the best way to divide this up? You just do 1 straight shot across. It'd be 2 quads. I guess no matter how you cut it, it's 2 quads, but I think it's gonna look nicer if we'd go like that. And what to do about this guy here? I think I'm gonna leave that for now. I can do additional cleanup after, but if I do any kind of cleanup, the way I'm thinking is if I do something like that, it's just be like a weird rotation. I don't know. It's not going to look good. The main goal with my assets is to rapidly prototype, so it doesn't have to be flawless with the vert count and poly count. I want it to be easier to edit later on. Obviously, like this kind of triangulation for that it's not ideal for editing, but I don't want to leave n-gons. Okay, that'll do. Let's run the solidify and see what we get. How do you get edit view? Edit cage. Does that actually show it? Why am I getting this weird shape here? We do want even thickness, but oh, that's why. Because I'm an idiot. Whoopsies. We don't want this on there. Because we only want the inside edge. And that, by adding that outer part there, was actually part of the inside edge that will come in with the solidify, which will wrap around and land down there. Okay, so now if I save that, go back to edit mode, and okay, and then there's just one other thing. Okay, yeah. We don't want this outside edge either. Because that edge will be filled in. Okay. Actually learning quite a bit by doing what I thought was going to be a super simple model. That's cool. I like learning. So how does this look? With a 1 millimeter thickness. Okay. That area looks good. Down there looks good. Let's re-zero the camera. Okay, clearly nothing changed or nothing is protruding through the outer surface. Let's take a look at wireframe. Is wireframe gonna show us the final? Yeah, that's the final. Is it just me, or is I seeing some weird... I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but there's some weird shading going on there that makes me believe that we have something off by just a hair. Now, what could that be? All right, so we're looking at the y-axis. No, not y, x. All right, so x is good. How about x here? Yeah, X is good there too. Hmm. Yeah, there's no reason for that shading. Maybe it's just the EV render. I think that's what I have set up for. Yeah, EV render. All right. And then one last check before I do this solidify. Let's do normals. Whoa. I wish this slider would go down further. By default to like 0.1 or even like 0.2. Yeah, I can work with that. Okay, on the bottom, everything looks good. Around the edge, all the normals are facing out. These are all facing out. So that should be facing down, and that should be facing in, which... Okay, yeah. So sometimes you can have the normal indicator poking through a surface, which will make you think that the normals are inverted. For this is obvious for me because the normal is not centered on the face, right? So I know by that fact that this is not the normal for this face, but it still messes with you, right? When you're quickly glancing at something. So sometimes you have to fiddle with this. I think dropping it to 0.1 will get that out of there. Yep. And then just double check under here, facing down and in. Facing down and in. Okay. The normals are all set. Let me turn those off. Oh, whoops. Gotta go back into edit mode. Turn off normals. Always double check the scaling and everything before you apply the modifier. Okay. Let's solidify this thing. My question is 1 millimeter too thick? Does that look too thick for this particular thing? It's probably closer to actually 0.5 millimeters. Still got some grass on there from when I used this last, but yeah. I guess it could be a little bit smaller. How about we go with 0.8? Yeah, that looks a little better. I don't want to go too small though, just because I don't want it to look too flimsy. I want this to be a nice beefy nursery pot here. Okay. So I don't know if I said it out loud last time, but the easiest way to apply a modifier when it's in a list is just hover over it and then press Control A, and then it's applied. That's a nice shortcut that I use all the time. I forget where I learned it from. I think it was Blender Guru on YouTube. You should totally check him out. He makes amazing tutorials on Blender. Basically everything I've learned about Blender is from Blender Guru. Some other stuff, like oddball things, I've learned from forums, Blender forums, and just doing Google searches. But a large part of it, especially with upgrading to Blender 2.9, I learned from Blender Guru. Okay. Now we just need to add some holes in the bottom. Let me just check here. I think I'll just do 5 holes. Just keep it simple. One on each face that touches the ground. So like here, 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 and here. And okay. Guess we'll start with the center because that's the easiest. Is the cursor at origin? Center, world origin. Yeah, okay. Let's add in a cylinder. That is way too big. How many faces do I want? Maybe 8. Radius. I was thinking 10mm holes, so let's just go with 5mm radius. See how that looks. I think that's a little too big. Because realistically, dirt would fall through that way too easily. So let's drop it down to 8mm. This can be 10mm in the height, doesn't really matter. Something like that, just make sure it's poking through the top. It is. Okay. Just call this. Just call it all. Yeah, that sounds good. One thing I want to do is delete the face on the top and the bottom. Okay. Let's go here, modifier, Boolean, difference, and just select the whole object. Oh. Whoops. Gotta switch to object mode. Boolean. Okay, let's hide that and just see what it looks like. If for some reason this isn't showing up, it's because you're either in edit mode on the object that you're trying to modify, or you have this turned off. This little icon here, real time. So just click on that. I think you can do it in edit mode also. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so edit mode, basically object mode, edit mode. Actually, I'll turn on both of them. That's pretty useful. Okay. It's nice and clean. Is there anything I can do to make this easier? So how's this going to work out as far as turning it into quads? I think I should rotate it. So let's rotate the whole by 45, I think. Why did that not do anything? Am I crazy here? All right, so 45 divided by 2. Okay. Yep. I can do math, I swear. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so now that the faces are lined up, so those two are lined up, then I can just go boom, boom. Then you got a quad, do that. So you have 4 quads and 4 tries. I like that. That'll work. Okay. Let's apply this one. And see what, make sure it looks good. Okay, it put some stupid extra vertices in there. That's right. That's an easy cleanup. It'll be the same with the other ones too, but let's go here. I want to get the rough center of this. So if you select all the faces that you're working with and then do S cursor to selected, it should be roughly center. Kind of looks like it, right? I don't know how it calculates the center of this set of faces. It might be a little bit closer to the inside, but I think that's all right because on this, if you look, it's actually closer to the inside. It's actually on the slope itself. It's probably for like structural integrity or something like that. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but that's okay. So we can literally put it wherever we want. I am going to put it here, and that's going to really mess up this whole setup. It'll probably have to get modified. Actually, before we do that, let's just get rid of these. This will make it cleaner when we add the hole in, and then we can make a game plan after it's in and see what Blender did as far as adding new vertices. Okay, grab the whole object, and then Shift S, and then cursor or selection to cursor. Boom. All right, I think the rotation's still good. Yep. Here. This side, not so much, but I don't care. As long as two of them are lined up, that's fine. And I could quickly just put all these different hole cutting objects around and do one at a time, but I guess this is a good time to just quickly go over how to do a radial array if you haven't done it before. So let's just go to cursor to world origin, right? Select the hole and then set the origin to the 3D cursor, because when you do a radial array, you want to pick the center of the circular pattern and then set the single object to the center, right? And then you also need to Shift A and just put in any object in there. Typically, a lot of people just do a set of arrows or single arrow or axes. I think I'll just do a single arrow. Yeah, just point. Oh, that's huge. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's what we're going to reference for the rotation. If I'm doing this right, hopefully I'm doing this right. I've only done this a few times. So we need 4. And then it's not relative offset. It's object offset, and then we want to select empty. All right. See, we already have the rotation here. I think that's because the hole already has a rotation. So let me apply the rotation scale. That'll snap everything back to where it was, because we want a nice fresh start, and we want the rotation to be based on the empty object, not the starting object. You'll get some weird patterns if you do it that way. So if you start doing this, right, see, now you can do the radial array, and you just want to get it close to see what number you need, right? This is basically 90, so we could just do a rotation of 90 on the Z, and boom, you have your 4 hole cutting objects. So just go back to the hole object with the array modifier, press Control A to apply it. Now you can delete the empty because we no longer need it. We can leave the origin at the center because we're going to delete this as well. And we want to go back to the main object, do another Boolean, select the new multi-hole object, and then apply, delete the hole, and there we go. Now we have our super simple nursery pot. Now we just need to clean up the n-gons and the extra vertices on these, apply the colors, and that's pretty much it. So let's get in there and make this happen. Okay. Just slide this over. I mean, you don't really need snapping for this part because what I'm doing is I'm essentially just double tapping G and then pulling it in one direction, and it automatically caps out on the closest vertex there. So if I undo this without the snapping on, you'll be able to see I can do the same thing. It's actually a little bit cleaner if you only specifically want to base it on this one single edge, right? You could do slide along edge and then have snapping on, and if you had another vertex on the next level down, you could snap it there, and you could have a nice variation. But for what I'm doing, I just want to snap right to the closest vertex. Okay. For this, move it there. Okay. Let's start joining this up. One other key thing to remember when you're adding edges onto a face, you can press F and it will fill. It'll fill an edge in between the two vertices. But if you click on the face, you can see it doesn't apply to the face itself. So now you have an edge on top of a face. It actually took me a while to catch on to that. I kept like adding edges to fill in a face to get rid of the n-gons, and when I went to check the meshes in Unity, it kept looking all weird, and I was wondering why, and that's why. All right, so just come on. Delete that. So you want to use J instead, and that'll force it into two faces. Okay. All right, so we got our 4 tris and our 4 quads. That looks good. Let's just pop down to the bottom and get this all sorted out. Okay, up next. Focus the camera. Okay, that looks good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quads and 2 tris. Okay, that'll do. What did I do different? So it's just a difference between the... I like the other one better. Let's do it like that. That's good. What did I just do? I don't even know how I changed the mode. Okay. Was it Z? Ah, okay. So many shortcuts in this. Okay. Is that the end of the music already? I guess so. We can listen to some synthwave, I guess, next. This is copyright free as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, in case you don't know what this is, at least what I've been listening to for the last hour or so, and as well as this new music that I'm playing, is also White Bat Audio on YouTube. Definitely check them out. They make amazing royalty-free background music that's safe to use on Twitch or any other media platform. So yeah, check it out. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna just apply all rotations and transforms. I mean, it's not really necessary because I did it before, but again, I like to double check everything. Okay, so now we need to assign the colors to everything. So right now, the whole entire mesh is using the, what is it, plastic interior. So we're going to change that to exterior. Let's just take a look at the reference. So you can see that basically the black interior goes all the way out to the outside edge of the lip where you can grab onto. So we'll do the same. And on ours, that would be this face. The bottom I'll keep green. On the actual nursery pot, it actually kind of comes to a point, but I'd rather keep it kind of like a squared off hard edge than a sharp edge. So we'll go to there with the interior, and then basically everything else under here is fair game. Just go like this. Just going to be careful around the holes that I made in the bottom because I want the black to show up on the inside edge of those holes. And we're upside down. I know there's easier ways to select all this stuff, but I'm still a newbie and I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm not going to sit here trying to figure it out while I'm just quickly trying to get this nursery pot done. Unfortunately, you're going to have to suffer and watch me do it the manual way. But please let me know if you know some tips and stuff on how to select stuff easier. I know about edge selection and stuff, but as far as faces go, I am terrible at selecting specific faces or face loops. If that's the right terminology, I don't know. Loop. Okay. Select the other material, click assign. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like it. Ugh. What is this? Do I have some other weird modifier going on? I don't know what the hell's going on with that. That is weird. Was that from when I was doing a demonstration of how to properly add an edge on a face and I forgot to delete it? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Yep. That is definitely what happened. Okay, so there's one more there. What about inside? Nothing weird in there? Okay. Okay, so it's this edge, delete edge. Yoink, yoink, join. Okay. That's cool. I feel like that wasn't like that before with the outline feature. I feel like before, even if you had some weird edges over top of faces, it wouldn't show a highlight around it. So that's really cool because I wouldn't have seen that otherwise. Okay. Let's make sure the colors didn't get messed up. Looks good. All right. The other thing I do for my low poly style is I make sure everything has flat faces and sharp edges. And yeah. All right. Let's center this. I always orient the camera like that. Check the naming. Nursery pot 2 medium, plastic interior, plastic exterior. All right. Export FBX. FBX unit scale. That will fix the issue of if you import something from Blender using all local and you bring it in here. Let's just pull this in so you can see. The scale will be 100 for all of these, right? So that'll fix that issue, changing it to FBX unit scale. But you also need to apply the transform, even though it says it's, what is it? An experimental mode. I use it anyways because if you don't, it'll add a weird rotation on, I believe it's the x-axis. It'll be like -90 or something, which isn't that big of a deal if you're just dragging something into your scene and you're just gonna let it sit there. But if there's an object that you want to rotate or manipulate with physics, resetting it's going to be a pain because you're going to have to remember that it's -90 or -89.999. So that's one thing I always do is apply the transform and set it to FBX unit scale. All right. Click save. And let's just pull it into the test project here. Make sure everything's good. I also do another name check here. Then pull it into the scene. Just double check. I know the lighting's weird, but that's okay. All right. Let's rotate it. I always make sure I rotate the object to check for any face that might have an inverted normal. And I don't see any. Looks really good. All right, let's say that is finished. What's today? Today is Wednesday. All right, I have an interview on Friday, so I can't stream Friday, but Thursday I can, and I think I want to experiment with HDRP in Unity, because for the longest time I've just been using the default, where is it? The default shader, the standard shader, and quite honestly, it's pretty much not good enough for me. It kind of looks awful. So like here, it's a terrible shadow. It's like offset. And I know you can clean it up, right? You could do cast shadows both sides. That'll add a little bit more. And then if you go to the light source, you can adjust the bias and stuff like that, right? But then you have to deal with all these other lines. And no matter how much I mess with this, it's still just not that great of a shadow. But I did a little test on a previous project with HDRP. It's fairly simple to get a quick setup and to make the shadows look amazing. And I kind of want to do that on a stream, and then also dive into more of the options or settings, which I know nothing about, to be honest. So it'll be a learning experience for all of us. But anyways, that is the pot. I will be uploading this to GameAssetsGarden.com momentarily. There's one other thing I have to do. Maybe I could do this right now on the stream. But no, I think I'll do that some other time. It's going to take a little bit. But I will upload this asset a little later today. And you can let me know what you think. If you want to use it in any of your games, of course, all of my assets are 100% royalty free. So use them in any project you want. All right, I think that's a good time to sign off here. Let me just turn off the music. Yeah. All right. I hope you got something out of this stream, and I will see all of you next time. Later.